All right, let's talk about something that's a huge deal in crypto. You've got all these different blockchains, right? Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche. They're like these separate digital universes. So how in the world do they actually talk to each other? Well, that's where this incredible and kind of risky technology called a cross-chain bridge comes in.
I mean, have you ever felt this? You're holding some crypto on, say, Ethereum, and you're just dying to use it on a faster, cheaper network like Solana. But you can't. It feels like your assets are literally trapped on one island. This is the exact problem we're talking about. So how do we break them out?
Okay, so to really get it, you've got to picture the landscape. The crypto world, it's not one big happy country. It's more like a planet full of these totally isolated islands. You know, you've got Ethereum Island, Solana Island, Avalanche Island, each with its own rules, its own economy, and that fragmentation, that's the core problem we have to solve. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine blockchains are separate cities. Let's say Ethereum is New York, and Solana is Tokyo. Your money, your assets, they can't just hop on a plane and fly from one to the other. Nope, they need a special kind of transport, and that's exactly what a bridge is. It's the infrastructure that finally connects these isolated digital economies. And listen, this isn't some niche experimental idea. We're talking about serious money. Over $10 billion in assets are currently locked up in these cross-chain bridges. That is a massive vote of confidence from the market, right? It just goes to show how absolutely critical this technology is for the whole DeFi ecosystem. So the $10 billion question is, how do these things actually work? Let's get into the mechanics of it, because it's pretty fascinating. Okay, so at its simplest, a cross-chain bridge is just a piece of tech that connects different blockchains. It lets them pass assets and data back and forth. This is the magic key to what everyone in the space calls interoperability, which is just a fancy word for getting different systems to play nice and work together. So here's the basic flow. Let's say you want to move some tokens from Ethereum over to Solana. You send your tokens to the bridge's special address, a smart contract on the Ethereum side. Then a group of watchers or validators sees your deposit. Once they confirm it's legit, they basically give the thumbs up for the bridge on the other side, on Solana, to issue you a brand new corresponding token. Now, there are really two main flavors of how this works. First, you've got lock and mint. This is where you lock up your original asset, let's say ETH, and the bridge creates a brand new wrapped version of it on the new chain. Think of it like a claim check or a receipt that's backed one-to-one by your real locked-up ETH. The other way is with liquidity pools. Here, instead of creating something new, you're just swapping. You put your ETH into a pool on one side and you take out ETH that's already waiting for you in a pool on the other side. It's usually way faster, but it only works if there's enough cash or, liquidity in the pool on the other end. Okay, but here's where the story takes a turn. Because for all the incredible potential that bridges unlock, they have also become the #1 absolute biggest target for hackers in crypto. And this is where things get, well, pretty dangerous. Get this, in just 1 year, 2022, over $2 billion was stolen directly from these bridges. That's more than half of all the money stolen in DeFi hacks that year. It's just staggering. So the question is, why? Why are they such a juicy target? And this Jenga tower visual is perfect, because a bridge isn't just one solid thing. It's a complex system, a teetering stack of different pieces. You've got smart contracts, you've got validators, you've got oracles, all these moving parts. And just like Jenga, if you pull out the wrong piece, if just one of those components fails, the whole thing can come crashing down. So, the first big threat is right in the code itself. A hacker could find a tiny bug in a smart contract that lets them basically print money out of thin air. Or, and this is even scarier, they can take over the validators, the very guards that are supposed to approve the transactions. The infamous Ronin bridge hack that was over $600 million gone happened because attackers got control of just 5 out of 9 of those validator keys. That's all it took.
But wait, it actually gets even scarier. Because even if the bridge's code is totally bulletproof, you're still not safe. There's this wild type of attack called BGP hijacking. Basically, hackers can mess with the fundamental plumbing of the internet itself to send you to the wrong place. So you think you're on the official bridge website, it looks perfect, but you're not. You're on a clone, and you're sending your funds straight into a hacker's wallet. Okay, I know that all sounds pretty terrifying, but don't panic. It's not all doom and gloom. Your absolute best defense here is knowledge. So let's talk about what you can do to cross these bridges more safely. First things first, you have to know what kind of bridge you're using. Broadly, there are two types. On one hand, you have trusted or custodial bridges. This is where you're literally handing your assets over to a company, trusting them to give them back on the other side. On the other hand, you have trustless or non-custodial bridges. These run on code, smart contracts, so you're not trusting a person or a company, you're trusting the math. Generally, the more decentralized, trustless bridges are what you want to look for.
Okay, so here are 4 simple rules for any time you're about to use a bridge. 1. Do your homework. Has the bridge been audited by a legit security firm recently? 2. Split up big transfers. Seriously, don't send your entire bag in one go. Test with a small amount first. 3. Go native when you can. If you can use a bridge that gives you the official native version of a token, like USDC, that's almost always a safer bet than some weird wrapped version. And 4, and this is a big one, double-check everything. Bookmark the real URL. Verify the contract address. Be paranoid. It'll save you from those phishing scams we talked about.
And hey, if you're thinking on being a little overcautious, just let these numbers sink in for a second. Nearly a quarter of all bridge transactions either fail or just get stuck somewhere in limbo. And get this, over 70% of audited bridges are found to have critical vulnerabilities. The takeaway? A big name does not mean the tech is safe.
This quote right here really nails the single most important takeaway. The second you send your funds to a bridge, you are stepping outside the massive security of a blockchain like Ethereum. You are now putting 100% of your trust in the bridge's own little security system, which is often way smaller and way less battle-tested.
So, what's the bottom line? It's this. Bridges are absolutely essential. We need them to build that interconnected, multi-chain future we're all so excited about. But, and this is a huge but, right now they are basically the Wild West of crypto. They are some of the most powerful and also the most dangerous pieces of infrastructure out there.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. The multi-chain world, it's not some far-off future thing. It's here, right now. The technology is incredibly powerful, but it demands that you be careful, that you do your research. The journey across these digital worlds is packed with opportunity, but you absolutely have to go into it with your eyes wide open. So the real question is, are you prepared for that journey?